So I decided I didn't want kids, and I had a vasectomy. Turns out, doesn't matter; they're still here. Yeah, they say masturbation with a dead arm is better, but apparently it also ruins the funeral. How much does a pirate charge for a piercing? A buccaneer.
Oh,
Christ.
God!
I once got kidnapped by a mime. He did unspeakable things to me. And just so you know, you wouldn't want, just to put this into context, with the global events, you wouldn't want to buy any used trousers from Ukraine because otherwise Chernobyl fallout. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode 211. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
Jim's suffering. I'm really sorry about this one, Jim. Anyway, yes, so welcome back. Sorry about the hiatus last week. I had some work issues that I will not be discussing on this podcast because I quite like still being employed. Yes, anyway, that was one of those things. But this week, we will see how everyone's week/fortnight's been. And then we will see if there's any feedback for last movie we did, which was Homebound or Housebound. I got it wrong about 15 times in the podcast. Housebound, not Homebound. Housebound.
Or Eggbound.
Eggbound. Earthbound.
Spellbound.
Spellbound. Oh my God. It's an X Spectrum game, wasn't it? Anyway,
I was going Susie and the Banshees, me, but
okay.
Old goth.
Yeah, old retro gaming nerd. There you go. Yeah, so we'll see how see everyone's week's been, get feedback, and then we'll move on to this week's movie, which was your pick, Dal, which was
Network.
It was Network, yes. Now, we probably all watched this last week, so I'm wondering how much of this we can remember with our adult old brains, but we'll see how it goes. So, yes, we will do all of that. There's no asking for troubles because no one's posted any questions up recently. So, yeah,
Oh, it's starting to die out now, isn't it?
Yeah, the shine's come off that. That's it. It's gone. The shine's gone. So yeah, I might put up another thread on the Facebook group as a reminder.
Didn't we have a couple in the bank last time that we didn't do?
I can have a look.
It means us remembering what we did previously, of course.
Well, that's
difficult.
That is. I was going to say I can't even remember what I was doing yesterday, let alone what I was doing 2 weeks ago. But anyway, we'll get round to that. Yeah. Later on. So let's start with how our week was and fortnight was, and we'll start with you, Jim. How has it been, sir?
Reasonably quiet. I mean, enjoying seemingly the first fortnight in a long time where I've not had hospital or doctor's appointments.
Oh, well, that's a start.
It's been quite nice. However, the nonsense starts again next week, but it's been nice where it lasted. But it is all just follow-up stuff, more or less, now.
Okay,
the next month. But other than that, I took your advice and I started playing Far Cry 5 before delving into New Eden.
Excellent. Have you finished it yet?
No, not yet. I'm still just
okay.
in John C's territory, which is like the fucking Wild West. You can't go anywhere without maniacs in trucks coming past and shooting either each other, or being attacked by wolverines.
Yep.
Jesus, that game. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying shooting deranged rednecks for some weird reason at the minute, and cultists. But honestly, you have various sort of companions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've got the dog Boomer.
Good.
That fucking dog. I'm sneaking around to take back this township. I've took out 5 of these goons without them even knowing I was there. All's going well. And I'm creeping up to get a guy who's on a patrol who's a pain in the ass. And suddenly, from behind me, they say, "Wow, wow, what the fuck?" I look round. Boomer is fighting with a cougar in the middle of the street and alerts the entire town, like, "You fucking dog. You go in the big farm if you keep doing that."
Yes.
Another time I was on a stealth mission, and then I got attacked by a fucking turkey.
By a what?
It's kind of a turkey.
By a turkey?
By a turkey?
Yeah, because the dog had fucking attacked it. It ran up and started pecking me. He's like, "Thanks."
Cheers, dog.
Yeah, nice. Good
Bloody
work.
hell.
Nice.
But now I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's, even though sometimes it's a bit kind of like, what the fuck now?
Oh,
I
yeah.
just a herd of wild boar just ran across the road and crashed into my and caused a major pileup in front of me. What the fuck?
Nice. Oh, dear.
Well, yes, very pleasingly random.
Yeah, emergent gameplay, they call that euphemistically.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know, I like it. I mean, I like these sort of big games where you can sort of, there's a story mission, lots of side missions, you can just wander around and fuck around. And getting out of vehicles, that's fun. And go fishing if you like, if you can find it. If someone doesn't come up in a speedboat and try and plug you.
Yeah.
Gone fishing, fishing with Mortimer and Whitehouse suddenly takes on a whole new realm when you're about to get plugged by a bunch of hillbillies in a in a skiff.
Motor launch. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. So quite happily killing hundreds of people, and me often quite as well. But the flamethrower is good, but very dangerous. I've discovered.
Have
Yes,
you,
point the hot end at the bad guys.
have you had to complete any drug-addled missions yet, Jim?
I've been dosed with the bliss a couple of times.
Exactly. Yes. Aren't those bad guys the main ones, the head honchos that you go through? Aren't they quite like satisfying to take out? I've had it very cathartic.
Oh, very much so. I like the fact that in something with these celebrity cultists, you get extra points for killing.
Yep.
It comes up, celebrity cultist killed. Yes.
Nice.
But yes, thoroughly enjoying that.
Yeah.
That's
It will.
been good.
It will enhance your enjoyment of the next one. You don't have to play 5, but it's kind of like, I think you'd be missing out if you didn't.
Well, so I played a little bit, and then suddenly it's kind of, oh, right, I see where everything's sort of weird and multicolored now in New Eden.
Yeah.
And just little things are going, oh, this is what this place looked like before the collapse. This is nice.
That's right.
Very satisfying. So yeah, I'm glad I've gone back to 5. Thanks to the magic of Game Pass, the gift that keeps on giving.
Indeed.
Best thing Microsoft have produced in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Clever idea. Very good. And I recommend. 2 thumbs up. A great eBayer.
Nice. Yeah.
But yes, not done too much else other than that, really. I must admit.
That's okay.
Though I did watch The Electric State.
Oh, okay.
I did that too.
Okay.
I'll join you on this one, Jim. Come on.
Well, I think it got these terrible reviews. But like my dad watched it bizarrely, and he said, "Oh, you should watch it. It's interesting." He said, I couldn't quite work out what I was watching. Not a sci-fi guy,
no,
and in his 80s. But I thought, all right, we'll give it a go. And actually, I don't think it's as terrible as the reviews make out.
No.
And I do like the look of the robots in it. It reminds me of Robo Hunter.
Oh yes,
With the goggly eyes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I can see a bit of Ian Gibson in these designs. I know it's all like old-fashioned corporate mascot, but
there's a little bit of Fallout in there as well, I think. So it's very 50s based on some of these designs.
That sort of retro future look.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I was going to say, I thought it was okay. I've got to say that, I mean, this is based on Simon Stalenhag's work.
Yes,
the guy who did Tales from the Loop. And I think Tales from the Loop did justice to his work better, because when you ever see his work, for me anyway, when I look at his artwork, you see like a perfectly normal, like, countryside scene, and there's this broken robot in the distance, and you're always like, oh, how the hell did that get there? Whereas and a TV series, Tales from the Loop, does that, it conveys that sense of mystery very well.
It also has the melancholy of those paintings as well.
Indeed.
I think with this, it kind of,
it doesn't.
In terms of
state
in the TV, Tales from the Loop is kind of like the Black Mirror interpretation of the books. Electric State is the Herbie Goes Bananas interpretation of the books, which is fine, because it's not trying to. I can understand because Amazon did Tales from the Loop and did it that way. They went completely the opposite way and did kind of sci-fi action fluff, and I'm guessing it's because they didn't want to say, "Oh, Netflix is ripping off Amazon." Tales from the Loop is it's the same guy. You could have done it, really, guys. But
you know what? I think I'd like to imagine the Electric State universe is where all the robots that kind of just suddenly manifest themselves in Tales from the Loop, I think that's where they come from. There's some kind of, I'd like to think, there's like, that. I think that's possibly where they get them from, So, but yeah, it was all right.
Okay. I mean, it's a good Saturday night movie, if you know what I mean. So it's a popcorn flick, and I think if you like the designs, you'll enjoy it a lot more. But it's not as bad as it's been made out. I mean, it's got worse. From the reviews I read, it sounded like worse than Rebel Moon. And it's no
absolutely not. No. I actually was entertained by this. Was never entertained by Rebel Moon. Bored shitless by Rebel Moon. Yes.
We still haven't done the second one. You know that, right?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's shit. There you go. That's saved us an episode. That's the review. I've not even watched it, and I can tell it's shit.
How do you know if you haven't given it a chance?
I suppose it's like, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe it's like accusing the rest of a family of a serial killer on being serial killing freaks when, they're obviously not. But, come on. What, really? Do you seriously think... we saw the first one. That's the building blocks for the sequel, for fuck's sake. It's like... you built this house of cards of yours on fucking cornflakes packets, not proper foundation. That's what you did. So bollocks to that. Yes. If you want to watch it, I'm going to have, I'm going to have some, I'll say I'm having some teeth extracted. I can't do that episode. So, I don't know.
Such a wuss.
Having a penile scrape or something. I don't know, whatever,
Again?
Yeah, again, yes. I know it's the fifth time. Just,
Us just keeps building up, though, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Washing machines last longer with Calgon.
They've got a pile of Petri dishes higher than, taller than the fucking local office blocks here. So there you are.
It's like a coral reef.
Yep, indeed.
It's like a chisel.
It's like some fucking random piece of shitty art. It really is. It's
just... the pumice stone.
Yep.
That's no pumice stone. Why does it smell of mushrooms and fish?
Grind, goddamn you! We need a sample. Grind.
Yeah.
I've got the angle grinder here if it'll be any help.
There's small children climbing the lower slopes. Anyway. Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude.
Okay, so let's cross that off my list of things to talk about this week.
Penile scraping.
Yeah, penile scraping. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Oh, well, yes. Other than that, Jim, how's your week been? All good?
I think I'll leave it there and move quietly onwards. Just remember what the doctor said. He said, normally it's use it or lose it. In your case, this does not apply. Give it a rest.
Stop using it.
You've lost it, Darren. You've lost it. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
You'll find it
Elton.
in the Sainsbury's shopping bag over there.
Right by the loofah.
Yep.
Anyway, Elton, follow that.
Oh,
How's your
God,
week?
How do I follow that? Jeez.
I don't know.
Penile scraping.
Well,
Yep.
as I said just before we started recording, happy anniversary, because today marks the 1 year anniversary of us reviewing G.I. Joe.
Does it? I don't. Was it really that long ago?
Yep.
Changed everything, that film, didn't it?
Because 1 year ago yesterday, I posted up a memory from Facebook saying that we were watching G.I. Joe, and I watched it on the day before. So today actually officially marks 1 year since entered our lexicon.
We've had a Christmas in between this. Yeah. Really? Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So there you go. So that's a good thing to start with, Elton. Thanks for that.
And the Lord said it was good.
Itty bitty ditty bag. Anyway, right. So, how is your week, sir?
It's these last couple of weeks they've been very trying, very trying.
Oh, okay.
So, nothing really to write home about. We had a little problem with Kimmy's car, which we all knew that was going to happen. It started leaking water from the squirty bottle windscreen wiper stuff.
Oh, that's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Thank goodness. And now that's all sorted. I've sorted stuff out and found the part that was leaking and bought a new bit, and it's all working. So yay, Dad, for fixing stuff. So that was a good thing.
Well done.
Had a medical at work.
Why?
They made us have a compulsory. Now, do I be careful or not?
Hold on. Wait. As before.
Yep. Okay.
And now we know.
Just in case. I don't think so. It'll be fine. I think this one will be fine. I forget the last one, but I'm glad
the
we
last
got rid of
last one. The last one we got rid of because otherwise we would have had thousands of random reviews put into your.
Oh, shush. What from the person down the road? Yes, that's right. Yes. Anyway, I forgot about that. So I had to have a compulsory medical, which was a bit weird, and it was
the boss's wife. Sorry, carry on. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So I was called up to the office, and it was in London. So I had to get a train up there, and there is some tinfoil hat going around at the moment with some of the people from different areas about why this is happening, because I think that they've put out, if you died during service, you get 4 times the amount of your wages or whatever it used to be. It's been quadrupled. And so they're trying to weed out all the sick people and trying to get rid of them. I don't believe that. I would like to subscribe to their emails, but I don't believe that. But yeah, had to go up to the office. So I went up to, it was near Tower Bridge, and it's the first time up the office that I've been there. And so that was fun. Trying to find stuff. Once again, my sense of direction got me totally lost in the middle of London. Thank you very much. Even though it's only a 15-minute walk from Liverpool Street Station, I still get lost. And now you have this threat of people on e-bikes whizzing by you, nabbing your phone as well. So you're like, oh, Jesus, I've got to look for them idiots as well. So I didn't get nicked by one of them guys, thank goodness. No. But this medical involved, I think it was an eyesight test, then a I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Eyesight, lung capacity, hearing test.
Okay.
So
you can hear someone saying the lift's coming.
Blood pressure.
Don't press that button.
Blood pressure and heart rate, and then it was your heart, your stats from your body under mild stress. In other words, like stepping forwards and backwards, which is really weird. Like doing lunges.
Hold on, hang on. Point question for the jury. Were you actually in your pants when they were asking you to do lunges, and were they filming it?
No, they were not filming it, but the guy did ask to play tummy sticks, and I don't know. I didn't.
What? What's this? Tummy sticks? The fuck is a tummy stick? I'm gonna put my stick on your tummy.
All I know is
how you react to that.
I'm telling you one thing. I'm not fucking Googling it.
No. Elton, can I just ask? You know when they said they're going to put you under mild stress?
Yeah.
Did he just sit down in front of you and go, "So I watched that Alien 2 the other day"?
Yeah, that would have done it.
Yeah.
I filmed it for my son in portrait.
Take a look at this character from this film. Is this from Star Wars Episode 1? Is this from Star Wars Episode 2?
No, the actual stress is just him coming on this podcast, and they just tried to get to the end of a sentence, Elton, without any of us interrupting you.
Never happened.
I don't think it's ever happened.
It did once. I'm pretty sure it happened a few years ago, actually.
I don't think you were here.
There was a full stop, yeah? You sure?
There was, yeah.
Anyway, carry on, Elton. Carry on.
I'm trying to remember what else they did.
So you did lunges in your pants and tummy sticks.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
It turns out I'm all hunky dory, which is surprising. I wasn't expecting that. And my hearing.
Your stripper name? No, I'm sorry.
Yes, my stripper name is Hunky Dory.
Hunky Dory, right?
Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, hunky dory. Yeah, oh, sorry. Carry on, Elton. Yes.
Still not
only on a weekend.
Still not.
There we go again.
There's the full stop. Here it comes. It's coming.
Sorry. I'll shut up now.
My hearing is better than average, which I'm really surprised at. Not going to fall for it. I have tinnitus and I have had it for some time now. I was expecting it to be a bit ropey, and I was like, "Oh God, I really don't want to do that one." But it came back really good, so I'm really pleased with that. But everything else is all right. So yeah, it was just weird doing it. Weird.
Yeah, why did they have to put the thermometer there if you're just going to... I mean, if you're going to be looking after lifts, what's that got to do with anything?
I'm just going to move this out the way and then insert.
Is that both your hands? Or what?
It's amazing, this new technology they've got. They can do a rectal exam while he's holding both of my shoulders. It's just... It was, yeah. He said it was new. Honest, it's new technology. No, don't turn around and look at it. It's still a bit sort of like secret. You can't see the design or anything because it's patented.
But honest. Don't turn around. Are you going to see that? No. Sorry. Anyway, so you're in perfect health.
Yeah, perfect health. But
your ass looks like a bullet. Sorry. This is fucking Tourette's. I'm sorry, it really is just bad.
Oh dear.
Stop it.
Yes.
Sorry, okay. Just call me wrong. Oh.
That's what he said. Good luck with the editing tonight, mate.
No, just leaving it. Fuck it, it's all going in. Oh, Jesus.
I've got to shut up.
Free.
Look, I promise I'm going to switch my mic off now. Okay, for a while, it's just to get to the end of this story.
Yes, poor Elton.
Oh dear.
Right, so you've been butt for by a bullet train. You've done some lunges in your pants. And you're all perfectly healthy. Yeah, go on, carry on.
Hey, Martin Thompson, good luck with this week's, Black Dog and No Context. I'd like to see this. I'm going to be well interested in seeing this one.
Oh, God.
He did what in his pants?
Yeah. Oy. Anyway, sorry, Elton. Carry on. Carry on. Sorry, dude.
I'm trying to remember where I got up to now. It doesn't really matter, does it?
The watch.
Was your doctor named Christopher Walken by any chance? Are we talking about watches? Yeah.
No.
No, not that kind of watch. Okay, right.
No. Take your ring off. It's my watch.
So, you did the medical. You
did
passed.
the medical. Passed. As
Yes.
far as I'm aware, I passed, yeah. But it's got nothing to do with am I well or anything like that, really, is it? Come on. Let's all be honest. It's just in case I die at work, then at least they've got like a base reading of where I was a week or so ago. You know, if they really cared about it, then we wouldn't have been going out in the pandemic with a deadly virus around now, would we? No.
Well, there was no extra cost to them then, was there? You know, that's it.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess the other thing is, if you were as deaf as a post and blind as a bat, the last thing they want you to do is to go into a lift shaft, presumably.
Yeah, or colorblind. I had a colorblind test as well, which is probably good for like colored wires.
Yeah.
The green one. No, not that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that thing in green. It's going to be like that thing in Red October when it's all the red lights and they can't see which one of the cables is the red one. God, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. Oh well. So you're not an insurance threat to them. Is basically the point. No.
Why do they change the color of the lights in the submarines when they're under attack? Who can see?
Well, some of the bulbs aren't waterproof. So
the red ones are, yeah.
Yeah, the red ones are, yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes the red ones. They're the only ones left behind. No, I thought there was because of the radar screens, because they're green, so they stand right out.
So, like 90% of the time, they go, I can't see what the fuck I'm looking at. What's that? I don't know. There's like 4 of them on there, and there's like a light. Can you shade that light, please? Thank you.
Yeah. I always thought it was just
terrible glare.
yeah. Aren't we going to get some of those anti-glare screens at some point?
Can we have some curtains on those portholes?
I thought
that's the jacket. I put it over my head.
Yeah, standing there shading it. But I mean, I always thought the red light bulbs was because it was a way of telling the entire crew instantly to shut the fuck up without having to say shut the fuck up all the way down the submarine.
Surely the torpedoes hitting the hull of your ship would tell you that as well.
Well, I ideally you'd tell them to shut the fuck up before you made yourself appear on the sonar.
Yeah.
And light does travel faster than sound. So you just go red light and everyone goes, don't say a word. So or maybe just, they just like red light. Maybe it makes it feel more dramatic.
Ooh, romantic.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at light. Apparently they can change to blue light.
Yeah.
And according to some old handbook, it's blue light signifies to the crew that there's a torpedo locked in and ready to fire.
See? And it's without having to speak all the way down the back of the ship.
Yeah. And I think red light is means they're actually into combat. I'm looking on Reddit. There's all sorts of people going, it's to preserve night vision. Why do you need night vision on a fucking submarine?
Exactly.
Yeah, night vision always works well at about 2,000 feet where it's completely fucking dark all the time. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Carry on, Elton.
That's all right. No worries.
We have taken a diversion down diagonally.
I've also been watching. I'm 2 episodes into this very new program on Netflix at the moment that everyone is talking about.
Yes, I think I know what you're about to say, but yeah, go on.
So I haven't finished it yet.
Okay, so I will say nothing. Yeah.
It is Adolescent, I want to say.
Adolescence.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's all one camera motion.
Oh, I've heard about this.
It's done by the same people who did Boiling Point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And written by Jack Thorne, who I think did something really cool not too long ago. Hold on a second.
And Stephen Graham as well.
Yes. Yeah. And how are you finding that?
It's really good, actually. I normally shy away from this stuff that is rather popular when it first comes out. And I'm like, oh, God, I'll let the buzz die down and then watch it. But, yeah, just been watching it. And, yeah, there's some good stuff where you're like, oh, I wonder how they do that. Wonder how they did that. And I think the first episode, I was watching it going, okay, I know this is all one shot. And are there any cuts? And I'm not too sure. It must be well easy filming this stuff, though. Honestly, it's like an hour's work, and then you're done.
Yeah, and if one person fucks up, then you got to go back and do it again.
No, they don't. These are professionals. They just turn up, say, "Right, guys, we've got an hour. Brilliant. Let's do that."
Well, there is one fuck up. I can't remember which episode it is in, but one guy gets a coughing fit.
Right.
While in the middle of an interview, and he literally reaches for the water and stays in character and carries on talking, because otherwise they'd have to redo the entire fucking thing.
Yeah. You're 40 minutes in, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, you go, achoo! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, can we go again? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But they don't appear to be like the people walking in front of the camera where the splice would be or anything like that.
No.
I'm not too sure.
They're all done in one-ers.
Yeah.
As it's called.
Easy work, isn't it? Hour, come in for an hour, and that's it. Go
home. No.
You're done before lunch.
Assuming you get it done in one.
Yeah. Easy, man.
Yep. Nope.
But it is very good. I'm not all the way through it yet, so no spoilers, please. If anyone else,
no. I will say nothing. I don't know. But yeah, how you finding it in general? Is it making you think about mobile phones and children yet?
No, not really.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay.
I don't have children. They're adults now. So
okay. All right, fair enough. That's cool.
It is tense in places, definitely. I think everyone is spot on with the acting as well, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Stellar performances from everyone.
So good.
Yeah.
Though it is Daily Mail Island in many ways, because it's just like, oh, this can happen to your children.
Yeah.
It's all a bit like that. But
you just got to kind of put that to the back of your mind, though, haven't you?
Yes.
Got no choice but to do that. There's a scene in a classroom where everyone is rowdy. And I was like, I don't think we were like that. Sure, we were rowdy at some points and quite a lot of the time. But when something important like this is going down, then I don't think you would be like a dick. And I don't think there were anyone at my school that was a dick like that. So it's bit over the top a little bit, a bit Grange Hill-ish in places.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of moments like that where it's just like, really, is this really a school? Have you really done your research, or have you just read the latest Daily Mirror or the Daily Mail?
Crime in our schools. Tegs' dad or something.
Yeah.
I think Bricktop was like Tegs' dad in Grange Hill or sort of one point as well.
It was. Do you know what nemesis means? But Dad, I just want to do my homework.
You want to play tummy sticks with me as well?
Tummy sticks. Don't.
Oh, God.
Jesus, that's not going away in a hurry.
Nope.
That's getting entered into the Elton AI as I assemble all the clips. Tummy sticks.
Oh dear.
But
apart from that, that is it. I think we'll leave it there. I think if you had too much, I've taken too much of the time up.
No, hardly.
Which was about 5 minutes. And I was going to say you guys buttering in, so you know.
Well, I was going to say it was literally 1 minute of you talking and like 14 minutes of us turning around and turning your medical exam into the worst kind of corporate abuses you could imagine in your life. So there you go. And speaking of corporate abuses, Darren, how's your week?
Hey, well, it's been pretty good actually. My last couple of weeks. Let's see, what did I do while we were away? Well, first of all, I went to the cinema, an actual proper cinema, not the one of the equidistant variety. And I went to see Mickey 17.
Do you have to see the other 16 to get it?
No, you don't. I am a little bit confused by the actual name, because the film itself is based on a novel called Mickey 7. So why they had to have add an extra 10 to the number, I'm not quite sure. I've not read any. Trumpflation, there we go. Yes.
Yeah. Tariffs,
yes. And an extra 125% on the top of the price of a film.
Of a Mickey.
Yes, or of a Mickey.
Yeah.
So there we go. So for anybody who doesn't know, Mickey 17 is about a bloke who signs up for an interstellar cruise to go to a new planet to start a new colony. And he signs up to be what they call, I'm pretty sure it was an expendable. And he doesn't read the small print to find out what that is. And what these expendables is these are people who
Stallone, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. These are individuals who are brought along on the journey, and they're sent out on real dangerous missions, and when they die they just get reprinted again. And so this is
run out of ink.
Yeah, indeed. And so this is what the story is about. This is about this one particular one who goes out on one mission, and they, he's declared dead and everything like this. So they print out the next one, only to find that the one that they thought was dead actually comes back. So there's now 2 Mickeys.
Ah, right.
So now I know this sounds very familiar. It sounds like Moon. Indeed.
Yes, that was going to be my next step.
It's different to that. Whereas Moon was quite cerebral, quite sort of, wasn't much action in Moon. It was more sort of talking and philosophizing about the stuff. No, this is all action, and whatever. People getting Mickey's getting crushed and died and stuff like that. It's good. It's all right, but I don't think it's the second coming like some people were reviewing it as.
Oh, right.
Personally, it was okay. I'll say that. Robert Pattinson's good in it. I mean, it's showing every time I see him in a different film, it shows he's got range, which is good, which is what you want in an actor. And I think he's done pretty well for himself, shaking off the whole Twilight thing.
Yeah,
just taking it in different directions. So yeah, he's very, very good in this as Mickey 17.
Right.
But
is Tony Basil in it?
No, Tony Basil is not in it. No,
no,
no, nor is Vicky Tarragon, or you know.
I was just wondering if
this
the
is
song.
a good shit.
I was wondering if she was singing "Hey Mickey." That was all.
No, not at all.
No,
not
Jesus, that's rubbish.
But Mark Ruffalo's in this, and he started to do a good line in playing really weird villains in films.
Yeah.
It's like from is it The Beautiful Ones?
Poor Things.
Emma Stone. Poor Things, that's it, with Emma Stone. It's that kind of very sort of hyper real sort of comedy in it.
Right.
It's very ridiculous. It's really quite sort of the characters are real caricatures, as you might say. And again, he's playing that kind of thing in this.
Right.
So he's the leader of the expedition, failed politician, who's trying to start a colony over the other side of the galaxy. That's it, and everybody's following him because they think he's lovely and whatever.
A shitty human who wants to live on another planet, but fucking people over.
Yeah, who was a politician. Yes, a failed politician. Yep. Are we getting any kind of deja vu with this?
I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I don't know.
Indeed.
I don't know who that's pointing at.
No, nor do I.
Carry on.
So yes. So you know, it's worth seeing. I think it's not a terrible film at all by any means. It's just I don't think it's as good as some people are frothing about.
Right.
At the moment, but that's just me.
Okay.
There you go. I'll probably see it again and go, oh, that was the best thing ever. So that's out the cinemas at the moment.
Nice.
So let's see, what else have we had a look at this week? Well, we did Electric State, of course. We've already talked about that. And something else that's not very long hit Netflix, which I watched this week, was Across the Spider-Verse, which was the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse.
You've not seen that before?
What? No, I have. I went to the cinema to see it, but it's just appeared on Netflix. I've been waiting for it to come back out again. And I've got to say, on a second viewing, watching it in clumps, it's actually better. It's better than I remember it being.
Watching it in clumps, does that mean you just sort of watched a bit of it and then walked off and then watched a bit of it?
I was watching it, like looking at it on the train to work and stuff. I do remember it being a Barnard too long, if I remember it right, because it's a bit like couple. Because there's a lot of it in there where it's like the last Lord of the Rings film, where you're like, and you slowly stand up ready to walk out the door, and you realise that it's just faded to black into another scene.
Yeah.
And this is what this does, because it does a musical build up. You think, you could end that film, you could end this right here and have it, this could be where the cliffhanger is. And no, we're still carrying on. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. Yep. No problem.
Yeah.
All right. I still think the sense of humour in the film is still on point. I still really like the humour in the film, but it does go on a bit.
Yes.
So I would say the first one is still my favourite by a country mile. Yeah, that film was just... If they'd never made another Spider-Verse film after that, I would have been quite happy with it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the third one ever does actually manage to manifest, I think that'll be... Yeah, I know.
They're looking 2026, possibly 27.
No, if at all.
If at all.
But it's just like that will be the thing. Sorry, my microphone's moved. That'll be the thing that says whether or not this is any good or not. Because if it doesn't pay off, then what's the point? But if it does, then fair enough, all's forgiven, I guess.
I will still go and see it. Like I say, I enjoy the humour in it. So if anything, I'll get a good giggle out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop Spider-Man! And it's that. What? What? You?
Him, you,
You? You? No, Miles Morales. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
So there was that. Let's see what else. Oh, sticking with Marvel, started watching What If because I managed to get myself a free 3-month pass for Disney Plus.
Oh, right. You don't have Disney Plus anymore.
No, I've not had Disney Plus for a while now.
Right.
But I've because was it the Tesco's Club Card? We're giving it away.
Cool.
So so I got hold of that and started watching What If. The first episode was okay, which was about the Hulk. Yeah, that was all right. Second one I thought was better. We had a little bit more comedy in it. But I've yet to watch the rest. I'm not exactly scrabbling back to watch them.
No.
It's like,
just a very long. It's just a very long way round to getting to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, as far as I could tell.
No, this is past that now. This was recent. This only came out a little while ago.
Oh, the new series.
Yeah, series 2. I didn't think was too hot at all. I thought they were just doing it just to fill in time for season 3. But I'm getting a bit more. I'm getting a better feeling from this one, but not much. I mean, it remains to see. I mean, I suppose I'll watch the rest of the episodes and tell you after that. But
you're a better man than I, Gungan. Then I bailed after the first episode of the first season. So
yeah. Oh, okay. No problem. Okay, so moving on swiftly from that, the last thing I did this week was I got hold of a copy of Pacific Drive and started playing that, and I've played that quite a bit.
Isn't it good?
It's good. It's really, really good. The only problem I've got with it is I keep getting distracted. I've got this one mission there, just to explain what it's about. You're like a technician. What's happened is there's this part of America that's been walled off because reality has kind of changed. Something's happened and things are not quite right. And so what you're doing is you're going through each of the sectors of this place that's been walled off and you're trying to fix stuff. You're trying to get info and trying to stop this thing from getting out of control. And what you do along the way is this car obviously gets quite beaten up. So you can actually gather resources along the way by finding old wrecks of cars and like ripping them apart with your saw. There's also other things you can steal petrol from them to fill up your gas tank. And there's all these kinds of
game, by the way.
It is a driving game. It is, but it's like as if you played the game Stalker with a car rather than just walking through the zones. There are all these anomalies and that you've got to be careful of. And every time you finish a zone, there's always this race to get to the jump gate to get the fuck out of there, and it's driving. Yeah, because they won't. The gates themselves, these portals that you have to drive through, you can't activate them if you're too close to them. So you've got to get like about a mile away, and then you've got to go hell for leather to try and get to these things. And it's really quite exciting. I quite enjoy that part of it.
It's like an old 90s episode of Top Gear meets.
It is, yeah.
meets the X-Files. It's very weird.
Indeed. It's out there on Steam. I think it's on Xbox as well, PlayStation 5. You can get it all on just about every single format, I think. You'll probably find it's only about a tenner now, I think.
Yeah, it's well worth a look.
Around about that. Yeah, it is. It is. So, like I say, I'm enjoying it. I'm having some fun. I'm liking the soundtrack as well, especially when you switch on the radio and you've got the tunes coming from that. There are some quite good bits of music that come out of it, I thought.
Yeah. So it's got a nice soundtrack.
Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, it's well worth it. I think if you're looking for a little bit of a game to get lost in, then Pacific Drive, give it a go, and enjoy.
Cool, lovely.
That's it. I'm done.
You're done. Cool.
I'm spent. Yep. I'm spent.
Lovely. In which case, given the amount of time we have left, I will skip through mine. The upshot of last time I was playing Baldur's Gate. Fuck Baldur's Gate. I won't go into the reasons why, but I did 50 hours. I gave it its chance. It can go fuck itself in a fire. I'm still watching Reacher, which I'm really enjoying. Reacher season 3. Though it is following the gag of basically every episode seems to be who can we find who's fighting Reacher, who's slightly bigger than Reacher, so it always looks like Reacher's in trouble.
I've heard of this.
The answer is nobody except for one bloke.
Yes.
Apparently
Alan Richardson really likes that because he's kind of like, I'm getting a bit tired of it all being the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yes. No, it's yes. I will say no more because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I started watching the new Daredevil, Born Again. Well, I watched one episode out, and I think we're on episode 3 now at the time of recording, or possibly 4. All I'm going to say is, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not into it. I don't know if it's just my general anti-Marvel thing right now, but I tell you what, the symbolism thing is getting right on my tits. I only watched one episode, but it's like, the idea is something happened, won't tell you what, but something happened in the first episode. They do something quite radical, I will not lie, that made me go, oh, fuck off. But they do this thing, and basically Matt Murdock sworn off of being Daredevil. He's gone straight. And
why are you not a vigilante anymore?
Yes, exactly, yeah. And meanwhile, the Kingpin has come out of hiding and he's running for mayor. Okay? Lots of these things about corrupt people becoming mayor or heads of state. It's funny how that's all suddenly starting to come about. I don't know why.
Isn't it?
Isn't
it?
Isn't it weird? So there's this, but every time it's like so naff. Every time the devil, as it were, starts to come out of Matt Murdock when he starts to get a bit of a rage on. Yeah. For some reason, they always find, maybe he's in a submarine, actually, they always find a reason to turn on a fucking red light somewhere. And it's like, do you get it? He's got the Daredevil rage in him. Oh, okay, do you get it? Because he's standing right by a red light and the red light's flashing on his face and the music's going dun 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 dun, and you're like, yeah, I get it. We could
change the bulbs.
Exactly. We could have just had that, and there's lots of stuff like that. Like he gets set up with a person as a sort of double date kind of thing, or a blind date. Pardon the pun. And as soon as you see him and this person meet, you immediately cut to 2 pigeons flitting about in a park, and it's just like, oh, for goodness sake, this is like cinema making 101. It's like, oh, we can't show you that they're getting on very well because we can't
have any like rockets taking off and like trains going into the tunnels.
It's like that kind. It is that kind of shit though. It's just like you're sitting there going,
oh, fuck off, really? What are we, 12?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is?
There isn't any sex scenes or anything like that being represented by fireplaces or water running over or any of that stuff. It's just, but there's little moments of it, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just imagine he fights, he wins the day. Thanks very much. I'll save myself some time. And then I watched 2 films. I can't remember if I mentioned this one, but I watched one on Netflix called Killer's Game. Which is Dave Bautista as a hitman who's very good at being a hitman, but he's an ethical hitman. He only takes out bad guys. Or whatever, right. Roll your eyes. And then what happens is he falls in love with a ballet dancer. Yes, really. And then what happens is he decides,
God.
Hang on. When he finds out that he's got some inoperable brain issue that's going to render him into a vegetable and kill him in like 6 weeks or something. He decides to put all of his money into a life insurance bond for reasons that make no sense whatsoever, and then have the money, if he dies, transferred to the ballet dancer. And then he puts a hit out on himself.
Right.
Can we all spell the word convoluted, children? Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Then it turns out, after the bond goes live, the doctor calls up and goes, "Fuck, I made a mistake. I got your report mixed with the wrong person. All you've got is hypertension and stress. And that's what your headaches are." And he's like, "What?" And then he realizes he's got like a rogues gallery of crazy fucking super assassins all after him, including one who's got a grudge against him because he took out her dad or something. And then what happens is a ludicrous amount of action happens, which is all rather unengaging. And you just watch Dave Bautista take what little kudos he had for doing films like Blade Runner and other thing, Knock at the Cabin Door or whatever it was called, and all these ones where he was trying to get away from being the muscle man action hero.
Yeah,
and he's just pissed them up the wall for a quick buck. And it's interesting, and here he is. You can see now him turning up in Paul W.S. Anderson apocalyptic movies or something. But we got to the end of it. I was just like, what was that all about? What was that really? What was all that about? The only thing that was worth it was a cameo from Dylan Moran as a vicar. Which was kind of funny. So there was that, but that was about it. So that was do avoid that because it's fucking tedious. And the last thing which I did watch, which I thought was very good, is a movie just in the cinema, not cinema equidistant, but in the actual cinema, called Black Bag.
Oh, right. Okay.
Carol and I went to see that on Sunday. And how can I put this? If you remember all those Harry Palmer movies, the Ipcress File, that sort of thing, the Tinker Sailor Soldier Spy, The Thin Man, all these kind of old school spy films where it's all about intrigue and espionage rather than shooty bang bang, can I drive a car, can I shag 1,000 Russian mob bosses' wives, It's none of that. It's all very calm and sedate and very cool. And it's got Michael Fassbender in it. And his wife is played by Cate Blanchett. And you've also got that, I can never remember his name. The geezer from Bridgerton, Jean-Rene blooming, what's his name? Mr. Hot Pants. I'll find his name, was it? Rene Jean Page. And also Tom Burke, who plays Cormoran Strike in a couple of things. And Pierce Brosnan. There you go.
Yes.
And I will not spoil it because I think the joy in it is watching it unfold. But essentially, Michael Fassbender is a top level MI6 agent who's a proper spycraft, and he's renowned for the fact that he actually he discovered and shopped his own father. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's that fucking cold. He is that good, that clinical, that cold. And he's always super aware of everything, but he's really sort of pulled in and tight and wound up. And essentially he gets told right at the very start that there's a MacGuffin, which I can't even remember the name of, but essentially it's been stolen. And if it gets out, thousands and thousands of people will die.
Okay.
but it's been stolen by someone within MI6.
Right.
And he's given a list of 5 people, and one of them is his own wife.
Eek.
So he organises a dinner party right at the start,
Yeah.
stirs up some shit with some parlour games, and then, based on their reactions, spends the rest of the film trying to work out, not in the dinner party, but over the course of a week. He's literally only got a week, otherwise this thing's going to get deployed. Trying to figure out who's done what to whom and why, and how it's relating to this bio super techno weapon thing, and basically getting it back before it's deployed. And yeah, it's very cool. It's a very cool movie. It's nicely shot. It's nicely directed. It's got this really weird jazzy score. It's really interesting. It's one of those films. I saw someone say it. It's one of those films when you see people go, they don't make those films like that anymore.
Yeah.
This is one of those films that they don't make anymore. It is one of those. You sort of sit back and you go, I'm actually sitting here enjoying it for trying to work it out, rather than sitting here enjoying it because there's 1,000 tons of CGI, a car chase, and at least one person with their tits out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And because it was a small film, there wasn't many people in the cinema either. And the cinema was one of those small sort of 3 rows and a big screen kind of thing. So it was really good experience. Really enjoyed it. So there you go. It's called Black Bag. Black Bag. Well worth a look. So yeah, that's it for me. I think we'll leave it there. So that was my week. We did have some feedback on Homebound, by the way. Just get that. Oh my lord, we did get feedbacks, and the feedback came in on email, no less. We dusted off the Black Dog email inbox, and it actually came into an email. Who knew?
We checked our telegrams lately.
Yes, yeah. A teletext is going fucking bonkers.
Darren, to the fax machine.
Darren, stop matrix printer. So it came in from Pete Collins, and he wrote into feedback at Black Dog Podcast and said, "Hello, Black Dog. I just wanted to give a little feedback on Homebound." Well, he's called it Homebound, but it's Housebound. I said the same thing. So there you go. He said, "I really enjoyed the film. I wish there were more irreverent ghost films like this. I wasn't sure what to expect when I came in. I thought I had it pegged towards the beginning, where you hear the radio conversations and confirmation bias and the mind seeing what it wants to see. This gave me the idea that I was never going to be anything supernatural, though I was still surprised throughout where it ended up. I ate up every single red herring and had no idea where it was really going. I even second-guessed my prior assessments that there were no supernatural elements, but all came together nicely and the dark humour mixed in genuinely with good tension and kept me intrigued. One thing I particularly liked was even how it subverted itself at times, like when Kylie was creeped out by a door creaking, so she does the sensible thing and takes the door off its hinges, only for there to be actually a smaller door behind that door, which also creaks.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and thanks for the recommendation. I would likely have never seen this otherwise. But kind regards, Pete Collins. Thank you very much for that, Pete. I think we got some feedback on the Facebook group as well, he says, just jumping into that. We had Chris Johnson saying, I hate turn-based games, but I love Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm on 300 hours. Good luck to you, Chris Johnson. Personally, fuck the movie. Fuck that game. David Renane, Happy Dave over in New Zealand, he said, I rather enjoyed this one. I did wonder whether, everyone grab your tinfoil hats, spoilers to follow, could this film about a young woman finding direction in emotional conflict with a maternal figure in a spooky house with a mysterious visitor hiding in the walls and apparent supernatural shenanigans, is that not partial inspiration for Disney's Encanto movie? Have you seen Encanto, anyone?
No.
Nope.
We don't talk about Bruno?
No.
Ah, right. Okay. I don't necessarily recommend you have to see the film, but he's onto something. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say more than that because it might spoil both films for anyone who hasn't seen it. But there is a certain parity, shall we say? So I don't think you need a tinfoil hat for that, David. I'm kind of there with you on that one. So Dean Holt wrote in on the Facebook group. He said, "I didn't know they had the Brits." Oh, he was talking because we were talking about the Brits. He said, "I didn't know they had the Brits. Not that I would have watched it. I stopped watching it about 15 years ago, and it still annoys the hell out of me." Yeah, because the Brits is essentially who's that? What's that music? The TV show. That's about it, really. And Dean Holt also wants to know, I could rant about, he also continues saying, I could rant about popular music and the Brits for hours. To be honest, I could do that for most awards, including the bloody Oscars. Yes, that's fair enough, because frankly, awards ceremonies are nonsense. We will leave the asking for troubles because I don't think there are any. I think there might be one or two in the bag, but I can't find them, and we're running long on this section anyway. So thank you very much for that, and thank you for the feedback. And if anybody else has any feedback on this episode or any previous episode, feel free to send them in to the email address, just like Pete did, feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Or alternatively, go on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Or as a few of my my Baker Street irregulars with their jokes are starting to do, you can hit me up on direct messaging me on Blue Sky, which is cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. Right. I think we'll leave it there. We shall put a pause on this. We shall all go and have a cup of tea. Elton can go and replace the ice on his pillow that he's sitting on, and when we come back,
preparation H in the freezer.
Ring, ring, why don't you give me a call? Anyway, yes, we will be back to review Network. Roll the jingle.
Everyone, go to your windows, open your windows, and just shout out at the top of your voice. I'm hopping mad and I want something in the middle. That's right. Follow me, sorry. I can hear them now. Keep shouting. Keep shouting. Hey, you. Say that again. Say the whole thing.
He does. He's hopping mad and he wants something in the middle. Network is a 1976 American satirical black comedy film directed by Sidney Lumet and written by Paddy Chayefsky. It's about a fictional television network and it struggled with poor ratings. And the film stars Faye Dunaway, William Holden, Peter Finch in his final film role, Robert Duvall, Wesley Addy, Ned Beatty, and Beatrice Straight. The film was produced by MGM and released on November 26th, 1976. The movie had a budget of $3.8 million. How much do you reckon it made at the box office, Elton?
A crusty but benign lawyer? Or a crusty but benign reporter? Maybe nice. A crusty but benign podcast host.
Hey, I feel called out. Thank you. As the crusty but benign person here, I feel called out. Right, Jim, what about you?
One lousy lay with Faye Dunaway.
Oh. I don't know if that was ever lousy.
I'd probably take my chances, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, some would say she had a male approach to sex. Anyway, Darren, what about you?
I think it made 3 revolutionary groups and 1 jive-ass turkey. God, there couldn't be any more home counties the way I said that, could it?
No.
Hey, you jive-ass turkey.
Yes, you jive-ass turkey. Did you know? Hello. Yeah, well, actually, you're all wrong, I'm afraid. Yeah, it made absolutely nothing because it was killed because of lousy fucking ratings.
They switch it off. They switch it off and do it now. Switch it off in the middle of this.
Switch it off.
While I'm doing the.
What? Hold on. Is he gone?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, right. Okay. Fine.
You just ran out of bullshit.
Just ran out. Hello. You're still there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
A cup of tea.
Right. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Would you like some ASMR on this podcast? I can do. I can drink some tea
Go
while
on
you're
then.
talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do the Black Dog ASMR. That's not ASMR. That's just making me feel ill.
Is it? I'm just opening a packet of biscuits. There you go. There's your ASMR.
Hold on. I'm just going to scratch the end of my mic.
Yep. I'm going to breathe into the microphone.
Got to do it left and right, though. You'll go left and right. No, that just sounds
It's like stereo.
Yeah.
It's like I'm breathing heavily, like I'm one of these like obscene phone callers on a skateboard. Who just
On
can't
a
quite-
roundabout. Anyway.
What are you wearing?
Anyway. We'll go round the table. As ever, we'll have the non-spoilery quick review. Go round the table, see what everyone thinks. Darren, as it was your pick, you go last.
No problem.
So we'll start with we'll start with you, Elton. How did you find Network?
I flipping loved this. I thought this was absolutely brilliant. It's not what I was expecting, though. I was expecting something very, very different. But I've heard about it being brilliant. It's been on my list for a very, very long time. And I'm glad I've watched it now. So thank you.
Okie dokie. Jim, what about you?
This third time I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've not seen it for a while. And a very, very good movie to go back to. And very clever writer, Paddy Chayefsky.
Yes.
Obviously, had one hand on the typewriter and one hand holding a crystal ball, I think.
Yes.
Didn't he just?
Yes. Yes, indeed. For me, I think it was very, very good. There's no doubting that. There was a couple of bits when my eye twitched, and I was kind of like, it's quote unquote of its time. But there's so much of it. Oh God, how much do I say without getting sued? There's so much of it that I watched, and all I felt was like being on the night shift, and I just thought, oh good Lord. Oh my God! I thought this was supposed to be a satire. It's literally just someone just sat there with a microphone from the future. Yes. I will. I actually probably will say nothing more on that, other than it struck home quite strongly, and I don't know if I found it not funny because of that, but I found it kind of just like, I don't see the funny side because I've seen that. I've seen that crap. Anyway, I say no more, lest I get sued. So, Darren, what about you?
I really loved it. I thought it was a fantastic film, and such a prophetic one. I mean, it sort of like predicting things like reality TV. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Yes.
Although we haven't had reality TV taken to quite the dark extent that this one goes to with it, but yeah.
I thought it was predicting more like GB News.
Wow, we can definitely get into all of that in a minute. I'll tell you once we get past the spoiler zone. But yeah, I wasn't thinking just GB News, just news in general. But I mean, rage clicks is a word. It's a phrase we all know. But anyway, So so you liked it then, Dale? Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Really did. Loved it.
Okie dokie. Well, in which case, I do want to ask you a few questions and have a little discussion about it. But you've heard our thoughts. If you haven't seen this, go onto Amazon, do yourself a favor, block out a bit of time, make sure you're not tired or anything because you need to keep on top of it, and just watch it, see what you think. But don't let us spoil it for you because it's worth seeing as cold as possible. And just have your eyes opened as to precisely how fucking Peter Chayefsky or whatever his name is the modern day Nostradamus. So yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll go on to the spoiler zone as ever. I'll just randomly hit some buttons because even though I've been gone for 2 weeks, I haven't thought of a spoiler zone jingle. When we come back, we will be talking spoilers. So, for a 50-year-old movie, but we'll be in spoilers nonetheless. So, here we go.
There will now be a short intermission.
Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley.
I don't know why I'm pressing these buttons.
Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley. Of course you don't get bloody wafers with it.
Because we haven't got rid of that jingle. No, and I did spend at least 5 minutes making a fade out for that. So there you go. Anyway, here we are on the other side of the spoiler zone. Just to finish it off.
Shut up, Wesley.
Thank you. Yes, we're on the other side of the spoiler zone. If you really don't care about this film being spoiled, then by all means hang around, but I would recommend you don't. So, let's do the round table. Now, I've got a load of questions because I did do a bit of question thinking, and I also trying to remember myself what the film was like. So I've been writing actual questions. I'm not just going to and ah. But if it sounds a bit more like I'm reading from a bloody script, that's because I am. So the first thing I was going to say was, what do you think the film says about how it satirizes media and how media is manipulating the world or being manipulated by the world? What do you think? Just throw that big one out there.
I'm going to say that for anybody who thinks TV is art, it's not. It's business, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's it. Forget all your. If you're going to work in TV, forget all your sort of like naive ideals that this is an art form that you're going to get into. Trust me on this, it's not. It is business. They're only interested in making money. If they weren't interested in making money, they wouldn't last very long. And this is why we get such shit programs today. This is why things like Love Island and fucking Big Brother have still, as far as they're concerned, got legs, because it's lazy writing. It's not even lazy writing because there's no writing done. It's just wind these people up and let them go. And that's it. It's not about art. It's not about making good programming. It's about making successful programming.
Yeah. So is that what the film's really telling you? Do you think? Or
yeah, this is it. It's all about the industry is just about the ratings. What can we do to? Right down to the very end of it, to the very end of this film, where they're like they use the terrorist groups that they've been doing the reality stuff on to off their TV messiah, as it were, their TV, the mad prophet. They get them to deal with the problem for them, and it creates even more content because they've done it. It's such a cynical way of doing things. This is it. Nobody cares about anybody at all. They just care about the ratings. And that's it. I don't care how it fucking affects anybody. Fuck the public. It's just no. As long as they keep watching, that's it.
It's not about the consumer, though, is it? They
it's
want the
just about
consumer
rating.
there, but they don't care about anyone on the other side of that screen.
No, it's all about making sure that keeping people stupid, which is what they do a lot today with TV. There is not. You look at the TV shows on things like ITV, BBC, or mainly ITV. That, I mean, look at that. Look at the sort of fucking programming you've got on there. What is it? It's another fucking police reality show. You know? Please fucking do me a favour. What do I pay my fucking licence for? Is it this bullshit? Is this all we've got now? Is this it?
You don't pay your licence for ITV. That's the point. It's all about commercialism.
I suppose it is really. It's getting the commercials in. It's right, and they appeal to the lowest common fucking denominator in society. That's it. There's people who don't want to think about stuff. People don't want to be challenged. They just want to watch reality. And it's like, you do realise that TV's supposed to take you away from all that, because don't you get a fucking enough of reality? It's why it's always amazed me that EastEnders was such a fucking successful program. Is your life not miserable enough having to work 9 to fucking 5 and pay your fucking bills, and you want to come home and watch this? Or at Christmas you watch EastEnders. Is it ever a happy fucking storyline there? No, it isn't. Right? It's like, you fucking, somebody dies because they somebody's poisoned the fucking Christmas pudding. Oh yeah, Seymour. Yeah, I told you I'll get you in the end. Boom, 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 boom. Fuck me. Or Nick Cotton comes bursting out of a prison. Fucking surprise. Boom, 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 boom. You know what that sound is? That's the sound of your IQ falling down a metaphorical fucking staircase. That's what that is.
Why do I get the feeling that any second now Darren's going to stand up and he's going to go?
What I want you to do, I want you to switch this off. I want you to, even while I'm talking now, just switch it off. I want you to go to the window. I want you to go to the window.
Throw out your iPod.
Yep. And I want you to open that window, and I want you to stand there, and I want you to shout at the top of your voice, "Does this look infected to you?" Is it supposed to be this colour?
Is it supposed to smell like this?
Exactly.
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
Does anybody else have removable body parts?
Does yours stick out at this angle?
I mean, look at it. Look at it. Is it supposed to be that colour at the end?
It doesn't even hurt when I flick it.
Exactly. I can't feel nothing. It's nothing. I'm dead. I'm dead there. Look, it's just dead flesh. That's all it is.
It's literally just weighing me down.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So
I reckon if I twist it enough, it might fall off.
I don't think it's supposed to have a wart on it.
Is it supposed to make this sound? Yeah. So yeah, that's it. It's quite. I know it's supposed to be a parody, but many a thing said in jest, and it's spot on. This is what TV has literally always been like. It's worse these days. Anybody ever seen Nathan Barley? Yeah. There you are.
Yeah.
Right. That sums it up. That kind of fucking empty-headed way of existing. It's just horrible, but it's true. It's the truth about TV. There is no soul in TV anymore. It's all about
anymore. Ever?
Well, ever. There's never been a soul in it.
No.
Ever.
No.
That's it. This is what art house films are for. The ones who don't really make that much money. That's it. You can tell a film that's got soul there if it actually means something, actually making a point, and doesn't make much money.
Yeah,
that's it. Whereas this, where it's trying to get people in to watch the programs, to try and get the Nielsen ratings up, or whatever you call it over here. Yeah, they'll just do whatever. Okay. Do you remember that? Do you remember on The Word? Do you remember the show The Word?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the Hopefuls.
Yeah, the hopefuls. I'll do anything to get on TV, me.
It's not
And then
the
they
granny.
just debase themselves right there. And it's like, you're going to show your grandchildren this, are you? Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna
okay,
show
because the
them.
word wouldn't be on telly after about a week.
Yeah, but they've probably videotaped it, and that's their one moment. That is their
Videotaped
that is as good as it got for them. That is the pinnacle of their existence. Is that
Yeah.
Jesus H. Christ?
Yes.
I'm going to shut up now and let someone else have a word.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to go and build something. I'm going to go and build something in Lego now and then throw it out a window. Right, watch it smash on the floor.
Oh, what? Back
what
to
I'm
Craft
gonna do.
Corner.
Yeah.
Craft Corner. There we go.
Oh my God, Darren's Craft Corner.
Well, I've got a shit ton of Lego over there in a box that I've not built anything with. So, all right, maybe that's what I'll start doing.
What? Just making shit.
I'll just make shit as we're doing the podcast. I'll make a thing. It'll probably all be something like a really odd-looking jet fighter every week, but you know.
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, you know,
Why not?
why not? I mean,
Why not?
You know, we can bring back.
Darren's Craft Corner.
I'll tell you, that sounds like a good weekend at the Torture Garden. That does.
Yeah.
Thing there. So, what you made this week, Darren? Well, this week I've made arseless chaps.
Back to the film.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. The secret phrase that pays is
Arseless chaps.
Arseless chaps. There we go. Have we got it? Have we? Yes.
Yeah, we've done it.
These chaps are arseless. If you can spare any arses, send them to the Arseless Chaps Appeal.
Yeah. Just £2 will buy an arse for a pair of chaps.
Remember, you don't have to take this sitting down.
It's golden tonight, isn't it? The comedy just
Arseless chaps. Feels very good on the whole. Anyway.
Do you like arseless chaps? Yeah. Do you like baked beans? Yeah. Well, no.
Back to the film. Get in the fucking van. Get in the fucking podcast. Oh God! I even wrote down sensible questions.
Oh, please ask your sensible questions.
No, it's too late. It's too late now. Mo's passed. Fuck it. Jim, I don't know where we were. I was asking you. What was I asking? Where was I on my page?
What was the film trying to tell us?
What was the film trying to tell us? Yes, essentially about media in society. There you go. That was my Ponzi version. But what is it trying to tell us? Go on, Jim.
Well, this is, I think, documenting quite precisely the shift from news being an impartial service into entertainment.
Yeah.
And there was a good mini documentary in what was the Charlie Brooker series he did? Screen Wipe.
Yes.
By a former BBC journalist, and he said, up until probably around the mid-'80s, he returned on the TV news. It was a case of this is happening in the world. These people have done this. These other people have done that, and this is happening now because of this. Next story. Whereas he said there's been this shift to the news going, look at this thing that happened. Oh dear. Look at this thing that happened. That was exciting, wasn't it? Oh, this was bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not so much editorializing, but it's just instantly sensationalizing. And that's something that accelerated with the advent of rolling news the desire to break any story first, even if there's not a story there yet, because nothing's been released. And this, I think, very presciently sort of, well, news doesn't make any money. You know what I mean? It's kind of, well, let's jazz it up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
But it goes further than that. What impressed me is the fact that when the big boss, who effectively, owns the network, decides he wants to get involved, and he said, he has the mad prophet of the airways delivering his message.
Yep.
And the ratings start tanking. He still insists on going on with it because he wants his message out there, even though less people are now watching, bizarrely enough.
Yep.
And, I couldn't help but think, Twitter!
Yep. Yes.
And it's a terrible prediction of the rise of that kind of oligarch who has bought a media company and is actually running it into the ground, trying to get out their piss poor message, and are too thick to understand that people ain't buying his bullshit. But the point, the people actually running the station have to go, we're going to have to whack him. This is the only way out of this.
Yeah. But the thing is with that, in that particular instance, it's a case of, just equating it with certain Australian oligarchical nightmare-owned news entertainment channels in the States. Is that eventually, even if you are shouting at something, or even to say with GB News, as Elton brought up earlier on, if you shout long enough and loud enough and consistently enough, you will eventually find your audience.
Yeah.
So
that goes with anything, though.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying that, there's the whole thing of Ned Beatty's character, essentially pushing his own agenda through Peter Finch. And everyone going, oh, fuck, he's ruining our fantastic ratings. But what you probably don't see, and probably if there was ever a sequel, is you would probably find that they would get another, unhinged prophet and literally carry on the message, and they would eventually just turn into eulogizing a single point of view and therefore finding an audience. It would not surprise me if that channel that you see in the film turned into a Fox News or a GB News down the pipe.
Probably, I expect he would have a much smaller audience here. Because that brilliant sequence when they see all the competition. And it is kind of, no, there's only one Peter Finch. And literally, they kill the goose that lays the golden egg by giving him somebody else's agenda that isn't honest. And the audience susses that out. Because I think at that point in the 70s when this was made, there was still hope that would happen. Now everything's much more fractured, and it's kind of, this is sort of where the whole news thing in America in particular went fucking absolutely tits up when Reagan removed a lot of broadcasting regulations, which meant people could just say things without any checks or balances or even having to be true.
Yeah.
And it brought in the rise of talk radio, which kind of, in America, talk radio was very much kind of, it was the prototype for all shit posting on Twitter and crappy conspiracy YouTube channels.
Yeah.
But I think to replace Peter Finch, you'd have ended up with something small like that, because they wouldn't have had the pull of being a respected news anchor losing his fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's an interesting one because it is kind of, as I say, it's kind of, you can definitely see which way the wind was blowing. And I did find it particularly, since I last watched it, I find it particularly interesting that, say, the network boss decides he wants Finch to deliver his message, but then the show starts tanking.
Yeah.
And that kind of, there was a delicious irony there, shall we say?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a certain level of Musk, and even like down to the sort of David Zaz. Oh fuck me, I can never remember his fucking name. The geezer running Warner Brothers right now and taking every single show that they're making and turning it into a tax write-off. Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want to make things. I just want to make money.
It's like the producers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Don't get into the Zaslav thing. Back away. Back off. Doot, 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 doot. So, Elton, what about yourself, sir? What do you think it's telling you? What do you think it's saying? How do you feel about it?
I think all the beats have been hit already, because I agree with everything that you, Darren, and you, Jim, have said about this.
Sorry, dude.
No.
Your thunder.
That's I think how aligned we are on this.
Yeah,
because it is, Jim, what you said about it kind of fracturing and it being like the very first or part of dodgy media, where you have someone and then oh God, what am I trying to say? I know what I'm trying to say. I'm just not putting it out there anymore.
It's okay.
Damn it.
Don't worry. Don't panic.
It is, when I was watching it, I was just reminded of all the shit that we have nowadays.
Yes.
And I don't mean that to be flippant or anything like that, but you can see how we got here from this movie.
Yes.
And you can clearly see a path where you have someone like Peter Finch, who is really speaking from his heart. He's very unstable heart, but, nevertheless, from speaking his truth. And some people will latch onto that and some people won't latch onto that. And then you remove that Peter Finch, everything fractures.
Yeah.
And then you have people on the left and right hand side of that. And then you have two people replacing that. So every time you remove someone like that, that void is replaced by two people. And then all of a sudden, everything gets watered down and news is just about selling you shit and selling their agenda in a way that has been molded and sculpted because they have so many years and years of actually doing this to us.
Yeah.
And they know that the scary stuff sells. That gets people watching TV. When something is breaking news, people watch that because they're interested in that. Not about jam jars that can't be opened or the best way to lock up your bike just in case it gets stolen. That doesn't work anymore. Even like talk radio was the one I was really thinking of. And you don't have an outlet for silly fun on the radio anymore. That does not exist.
No.
It is all about selling you 24-hour news and bad news because that keeps you coming back. Because we are worried. We are worried, and they keep you worried by keeping you informed on the stuff that worries you.
Yes.
And that is all it's about. It's not about looking after us. What's in our best interest, what will serve the listener and the person that lives in your country the best. It's not about that.
No.
It's about pulling people in, selling them commercials, and moving on to the next thing. That's all it's about. They don't give a shit about what they say in between the commercials.
No.
As long as it generates either people going, but I want bendy buses back. But I don't want bendy buses back. But I want a blue passport. But I don't want a blue passport. There's people coming in on the boats and stuff like that. It's just about getting you irate and people coming in. And this is what the film is telling me. It is like a time machine. It really is.
Yeah.
It's so far before its time. It's having this guy selling his thing, and Jim, you're right. They as soon as it's someone else's voice coming through him, it doesn't work, and the general public notice that.
And do you know what? It's interesting you bring that up, because I think that's probably the only misstep in its prophetic nature, because we're now living in a world which is no longer satire. I mean, everything that happened in that film is no longer satire.
No.
I mean, you know, there was actually genuinely a guy who killed himself on telly. I mean, there is genuinely, you know, there's genuinely all this stuff. But we're also watching, you know, in the case of GB News and Fox News and its ilk, you're watching an ideology which is coming from somewhere else, because people will shift, and you're seeing it coming through. And it's not whether it's genuine, it's whether it's a confirmation bias. So if you believe, I don't know, let's pick something innocuous so that I don't start a fight. But let's say that you believe that the footballs should be 1 foot across because they're a football. Yeah. It's something that you get really worked up about and really cross about. Now, someone else out there also thinks the way you do. Are you going to listen to them, or are you going to listen to the rest of the world, including the Football Federation, who say that it has to be a certain other size? And the problem is that something like these far-right news outlets, which have got around being done for selling bad news by literally taking a hit and reclassifying themselves as entertainment stations. And it's, you know, it is someone else's ideology, but it's also knowing that there's an audience out there, regardless of how small it is, who wouldn't give a shit if it came from a 1 person, 1,000 people, or some alien ant god from the planet more. If it tells them what they already believe, then where's the problem for them? They don't see the problem. That's the only bit that this film gets wrong, I think. Because, you know, the audience is clever enough to go that, oh, this isn't a genuine message. I don't agree with this anymore.
But that's what I mean. I think that message gets watered down over the years to get to where we are, because they try it out. They send it through. They send this message through Peter Fitch, and the audience go like, "Do you know what? No." And so they go, "We don't see this," but they go back to their drawing board and go, "Okay, they didn't quite react the way that we thought. Should we try a different approach? Maybe someone else." Maybe a female presenter or 2 male presenters. Let's get them arguing together. Let's do that. And then they try that. And then you see the reaction and you see the ripples of that. And do that infinitely amount of times, and then you get to where we are right now.
Yeah.
I take it you all know the phrase, a person is clever, but people are stupid.
Yeah, it's from Men in Black.
Yeah, well, it's before that. I think this is a phrase that's been, you know, older than that film. I think it kind of shows in this film as well, where it's the mob who are believing this mad messiah and go with him. And they do what he says. When it's his genuine message, it kind of proves your point. When he's being influenced by someone else and it's not his own point of view,
yeah,
then they detect something wrong. But when it's just coming from him, the ordinary man, you know, who kind of speaks his mind, you know, the popularist type of thing, which I think we've seen a lot of recently and are still seeing every fucking day so far. You know, that kind of sums that up. That, you know, when somebody lights a fire under someone, they go with it. It's that mob And it does. It's in this. They act like a mob. They act like a justice mob. They all come together and, oh yes, let's do this because this is a good idea. Let's worship this person. Let's do exactly what they say.
Yeah,
and they do in that, don't they? They stick open the windows. They start shouting stuff like this. They even. What is it they do with is it the letter writing campaign?
Well, that's when he actually becomes properly dangerous.
Yeah.
Because effectively he mobilizes the audience to actually screw up the fucking big network's deal.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
that's when he has to be stopped.
Yeah.
Indeed, because it starts affecting the network, and it starts affecting the machine that made him in the first place. The machine that shat him out.
But sorry, go on, carry on. I'm self-censoring myself, which is kind of interesting, I think. But there's a lot I could say, and I think I might end up
censoring.
Yeah, because
you got first-hand experience of this, though.
Yeah, I saw some shit. Luckily, I was only in that for about a year, but and that's why I'm trying to self-censor, because I think if I say anything out loud, I can only be talking about one thing or one place, and I don't want to do that because.
Okay, well, look, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a guess of probably what it was a bit like, where you said you saw some things. I'm guessing, and not in the sort of. This man actually speaks some sense that he's pointing at. I reckon it must have been a bit like watching 5 or 6 Jonathan Pies there, but not talking the truth, but talking entitlement and stuff like this. Feigning sort of care about a subject on screen. As soon as the cameras go off. Well, that was a load of old wank, wasn't it? So I'm taking a guess that that's what it was like. I'm not asking you to confirm that, but I believe.
How close was it to drop the dead donkey?
Yeah. Can I just ask?
I think if it's like someone dropped the dead donkey script and said, just change the names, make it look like you're not copying my homework.
Did anybody say the famous line? During an on the spot news report, and here on the ground is a child's toy.
I'm not saying a word, not a word, not a thing.
It's one of my favourite bits from that show. And here on the ground is a child's doll. And it's always the same. Don't pick up, put in the coat pocket.
Yeah,
on the ground.
Yep.
Should we do In the Loop next week?
Yep. Anyway, I might. I can't say anything. I'm just gonna have to. Otherwise, I'll be editing the fuck out of this podcast for hours. But let's just say that it was quite interesting to see certain people's reactions to certain events, big and small, and it was kind of the final wool being pulled off of my eyes, because I've been at Elstree for a year or two before that, and seeing media wankers just flitting about talking bollocks at each other and cheerfully stabbing each other in the back. That to me is, there was kind of like, oh God, this isn't as cool as I thought it was. But then when you end up in a fully working 24-hour newsroom of live rolling news, any possible vestige of the deepest, slimmest shred of humanity or empathy, just it's like dandelion fluff. It just it's gone. It's like fucking hellfire. Again, I shouldn't say anything. So Let's change the subject. You can ask me questions once we've finished recording.
Just watch the Drop the Dead Donkey, folks, if you're not familiar with that show.
Yeah.
That'll be a good primer.
That would be a good primer. In the Loop and In the Thick of It are very good primers.
Incidentally, on this subject of this art portraying reality as it is now, it's got to that point. Do you know why Amanda Iannucci stopped writing In the Thick of It? Do you know why he just gave up writing it?
Go on.
It's because the comedy he was writing was actually looking more like a documentary.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous politics had finally become.
Yeah.
It was just like it was a documentary, not a comedy program anymore. And he was just like, I can't do this. This is it. It's, I'm just, there is no comedy here. This is real life now.
Yeah.
And this is particularly like we've been talking about this, predicting these things that would happen in media. This is it.
Well,
that film is, people today who don't know anything about what it was like back then, I've probably watched this, right? Youngs, and think, well, yeah, what's so parody about this? This is normal life on TV.
Well, the one question I was asking myself while watching it is it parody or is it pulling back the curtain under the guise of parody?
I think it was sort of telling tales out of school.
Yes,
with a gloss of satire.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that. I did love the film, but there was one little aspect that did niggle me, and that was the voiceover.
Yeah,
which the voiceover, because I kept thinking, well, that could have been a caption.
Yes,
kind of. Office meeting rules apply to voiceovers. Could this have been an email? Could this voiceover have been a caption?
Yeah.
I was buggering because why didn't you say 6 months later? Why have we got a voice telling us? But then you get the final voiceover at the end, and I'm guessing somebody insisted they slap a punchline over the ending.
Yeah.
To say it's all right, folks, back away. It's satire. Blah blah. We didn't mean it.
Yeah,
and that was the only thing I felt a bit jarring. I mean, I smelled the whiff of studio interference, and someone saying, "God, we've got to cover our asses here. We're going to be in hot fucking water."
Yeah,
if you pass it off as a gag, we might just get away with it.
I mean, to be quite honest, there was enough satire floating about anyway. I mean, the idea of the William Holden character copping off with the Faye Dunaway character, but actually she's the one after him. As opposed to the other way round, just so she can get on the ladder. But then on top of that, there's also the fact that everyone kept referring to William Holden as middle-aged, and I'm thinking, fuck me.
Really?
he's middle-aged, is he?
Well, people looked a lot older in the 70s.
Yeah.
Hard living, hard drinking, hard smoking.
Yeah.
But
I was two things about them things you just said. When this was made, and let's say science fiction and stuff like that, science fiction is always in the far-flung future. And this was made probably, I'm guessing, we'll never get to this stage. Unfortunately, I think we've passed this stage already. This is about, I would say, at least 20 years behind us.
I think the stage this movie's at is probably late 90s, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's the era of Banzai, the early Big Brother, and that kind of faltering steps to the crapulous bollocks we have now.
Crapulous bollocks.
Although having said that, in some ways, I mean, in the UK at least, interesting, GB News is literally dying on its arse. It is not finding a market.
Good.
It's in endless amounts of trouble. It's up to its arse in debt to the tune of millions, and it's because people aren't buying its bullshit. And it's been, as crapulous and stupid as the British population are, we're not that stupid yet, and the kind of crap they're peddling on GB News isn't landing to their great cost. And that does give me hope, frankly. But it is kind of, I think it'll probably go bust. Yeah. Because literally, some of their shows apparently have literally 0 ratings. They sacked one of their presenters because his show regularly got no viewers.
Well, don't mention his name because less we advertise.
Let's call him Crafty. Because that was his nickname in school, Crafty Wang.
Oh, him.
Quality journalism there, folks.
That fucking little parasite.
Yes.
Yes. But then, but then on the other hand, I mean, looking at something like GB News and then looking at it in relation to this film, the idea behind it is solid. The idea is, and this is what Network's really saying, is that people are frustrated, people are angry, and they want angry shows to show them what they're angry about. And, in Peter Finch's situation, it's just him kind of losing his mind and basically going off on one. And everyone's like, yeah, fucking right. Yeah, we're all angry at things. Shit, yeah. With GB News, it's literally just going, right, okay, what's sort of Middle England and the baldy gammons, in pink shirts going, with Nigel Farage tattoos on their asses. What are they angry about? And then just going, right, what in the news can we find and spin? And it's kind of interesting because if you look at the /r/conservative Reddit, that is a sight to behold. That's all I'm going to say. It's like, if there was a nuclear bomb going off outside their back door and there was a horde of flesh-eating zombies at their front door and there was a fire underneath their house, they would still post a picture saying, Sleepy Joe Biden gave this DEI a tax break or something like that. And you'd be like, do you not see the rest of the world? And it's like, no, they're angry. Now, I'm not going to dismiss them out of hand because, again, I've seen some of the posts there, and I don't want anyone like that coming looking for me. But what I will say is it shows a level of frustration at the world in general. Now, whether or not you're looking at that rationally or not, I don't know. And GB News, Fox News, the TV channel in Network, what they are doing is being an outlet for that anger. And I find it really interesting because really the problem isn't that they're stoking the fires. It's that somewhere underneath it all, there's a whole bunch of dissatisfied, angry people who are completely and utterly incapable of doing anything about their situation. Whether they're out of a job,
they've been told. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily so they've been told. I mean, you can have anything. You can have illnesses. You've been fired from a job. Your company's gone under. Your farm's burnt to the ground. I mean, there's a million and one different excuses, but there are some people who are genuinely incapable of doing anything about the situation they're in. So they're angry. But they can't shout at the sky and go, fucking hell, that lightning bolt came down and set light to me crops, or fucking hell, I all my shoes are worn out and I can't afford to buy any more. So they get angry and they've got nowhere to let it out. So places like Fox and all that other bollocks come along and say, it's not your fault. It's actually this guy over here or this thing over there.
This bunch of individuals who don't
Exactly.
look like you, who don't come from here, but come from over there.
Exactly.
It's all their fault.
So what they trade in is what I call biscuit talk, based on a cartoon, right?
Right.
There's three guys.
Didn't you do an episode of the Shonky Lab about that once? Is that what you're referring to, Jim?
No. No, the cartoon is there's three guys sat around a table. There's a guy in a top hat and a monocle. He has a plate in front of him with 7 biscuits.
Oh, yes.
There's a guy in a bowler hat in the middle of the plate with 2 biscuits, and there's a scruffy guy on the end with 1 biscuit. Top hat saying to bowler hat, pointing, watch that guy on the end, he's going to steal your biscuit. And, of course, bowler hat's looking down on the scruffy man at the end, looking angry and frightened. But if you look closely, top hat is reaching out and nicking a biscuit off bowler hat's plate.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly.
That's what these things are trading on, and that's very much the kind of the sort of hidden agenda of the network bosses, so-called what we now call techno bro psychobabble bollocks. He's trying to get Finch to push. Yeah, it is just biscuit talk.
Now,
kind of,
I mean,
tax is bad. You want to pay taxes. Without telling you, if you don't pay taxes, you don't have a government, you don't have roads. If your house burns down, tough. You get no police, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of... when they say tax cuts, it's tax cuts for us, the people who don't want to pay any tax, who can actually afford to pay all the tax in the world. But you know what? We just don't want to.
Yeah. So we'll get you angry about it, and so therefore you'll do the work for us of banning taxes.
It's also focusing away from where the actual problem lies. You keep them divided. This is it. They don't become a problem for you.
That's the thing, and that's the thing. Answers to really difficult problems like climate change, like immigration, like seas rising. All this. Running out of food, overpopulation, all these things, fuel. All these things are really tough. There's some of these answers may be impossible to solve. We don't know. But the thing is, the only way you can solve them is by looking at them. And a lot of people, regardless of how big they talk, how hard they talk, how big and, oi, get me, I'm, fucking, nobody's taking my guns sort of thing, they are actually scared of dealing with those big problems, or at least facing the reality of what they represent, which is, I don't know, extinction level events, your house burning down, you having no food. They don't want to face that. So if someone comes along and says, here's a little problem over here, and, you can be angry at that, and, let us take care of the bigger problems because you don't want to worry about that. People will always take that option. Half the time, that's what fucking religions are. They're like, don't worry about the big problems. Let God or another deity, please insert here, take care of the issues. They'll take care of it. Don't worry. You just pray to them. They'll take care of it. And that's what these TV channels sell. They sell a small problem to be angry about and feel like you're doing something just by engaging with it. Instead of engaging with a big problem. It's not climate change. It's climate change conspiracy. Your house isn't burning down. What it is the libs haven't given you enough water to put the fire out. It's like, that sort of thing. It's just like, you're coming at this problem wrong. But just to go back to the film for a second, what do you think? What do you think it says about empathy? And the reason I say things like this is because we're all talking about it, like the Peter Finch character. He's had a breakdown. He's completely gone off the rails, but he's saying things that we find entertaining. And really, in truth, William Holden was right. Take him off the air, get him some help. That's the first thing he says. That's the first thing he indicates. But because people rubberneck, they keep him on the air. So the people who, you know, from one day to the other might be good Christian folk, or, you know, people who would help someone across the street, or being empathetic, who would tell you outright, you know, I'm a good person, is they're actually keeping a mentally ill man under deep stress and mental torment on the air because they find him funny or he's saying something they want to hear.
I don't even think it's because he's saying something or saying that they something they want to hear. It's because he's bringing people in. It's not about his content. It's about what he's doing for them. And screw him in the long term. But this is working at the moment.
But what I'm saying is, what about the actual audience itself? People in the audience are effectively enabling him.
Well, not enabling. They're complicit in his exploitation.
Yes, sorry, complicit. That's a better phrase. Actually.
I mean, the thing is, this is another area where this movie has been very prescient. Is that there have been all too many people who have been exploited in reality TV situations and ordinary television as well, to an extent. But reality TV has been, shall we say, an absolute fucking snake pit for this. Whether it not just also things like Jeremy Kyle, which ultimately fucked up so badly got took off the air. You know what I mean? But also numerous reality TV contestants. You know, they've been people with issues who basically have been exploited.
Yeah.
When really, in a different age, they wouldn't have been allowed on screen because they said, no, this isn't on.
Yeah.
And audiences can be sympathetic to these people, but they still watch this drivel, and therefore, you know, you are complicit in going along with this.
Yeah.
You know, you are part of the problem if you watch these shows.
Yeah. I mean, you know, talking about the Jeremy Kyle thing for the overseas listeners, yeah, a person on that TV show basically committed suicide, and because they were just driven by the revelations on that show, and you know, that's it.
That ended Jeremy Kyle's career.
Well, boo fucking who? I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of people.
That's a sad thing. But...
No, I mean, it did come up on, I can't remember which platform it did, and a lot of the comments were saying, "Cunt's lucky not to be in jail. He should be."
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah. Well, yeah. But the thing is, TV shows like that happen. Everyone gets shocked, but then the shock. And this is kind of where network really hit the nail on the head. The shock becomes news, and then the news feeds off the shock that it basically generated, which I think is really, you know, really interesting. It's that whole thing of, you know, we've literally driven a person to suicide, you know, by an entertainment show, which is basically a toxic screaming match in public TV. And then we spent a lot of money making a documentary about how it happened. And then we had a news story in the TV news telling you about the documentary, which tells you about the news story, which tells you about the events. And it all feeds on itself. I mean, like, why would ITV, you know, ITN News, have a news story about the documentary? But they did. Wouldn't the documentary be the information you need about the suicide? And shouldn't the news be reporting on the suicide? But they didn't. It was ITV promoting the ITV documentary through the news. It's like, that's not news. That's telling me the fucking TV schedule.
Yeah.
And, it's stuff like that, which I think Network really got right, because as soon as they kill Peter Finch live on air, that then becomes the news story on those TV screens as the cameras pull out.
It's kind of like a perpetual motion engine.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
the CBT is one. The CBT engine, the cat and buttered toast engine. For anybody that's confused by that, it's like they always say that a cat always lands on its feet, and a piece of buttered toast will always land butter side down. So somebody created a science fiction series once where they had the CBT engine in their fighter craft, and it would be, what would happen if you tied a piece of buttered toast to the back of a cat and dropped it? What would happen? And there's your CBT engine. That's your perpetual motion.
Yeah, both are trying to fall down.
Exactly. Well, they're just spinning constantly. Yeah. This is it.
I think they did an advert for that as well. They did it as an advert, and it's like just literally the cat and the toast keep falling,
exactly.
and it starts spinning, and they start glowing, and the guy puts it in a washing machine that's hooked up to a generator, and it just lights up the entire town.
There you go. I think personally, I'd see the audience and Peter Finch's character as that. The audience is the cat, and Peter Finch is the piece of buttered toast.
Yeah.
And you put those two together, and this is why I mean about lazy writing, because you don't have to write for that. You just let them go at it. Let them fight, and they just take care of the program until you stop one of them,
Yeah,
and
I just
keep going on and on and on.
Yeah, but I was just interested in sort of like how it represents media as having a complete lack of empathy for anyone. It fakes empathy. It fakes empathy very well. It goes, oh, look, as you say, and there lying on the ground is a sad teddy bear.
Yeah, it's a child's toy.
Child's toy lying amongst the rubble. It's like, you've used that child's toy 12 times in the same in different war room reports. But yeah, I just found that bit to be kind of like, Jesus Christ. Away from Peter Finch for 1 second, the backroom stuff with the execs.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys obviously shit stains, But what do you think it tells you about like commercialism and what TV channels and news stories are trying to do to get your money?
Because engineering.
Yeah.
They engineer news. I mean, I think a perfect example of this, and this shows you how that thing, I'm sorry to mention his name again, but Peter Finch in the audience, that's a perfectly small model version, its own contained ecosystem of what goes on outside of that. It even spreads to radical groups who by the end of it are arguing about fucking screen time and money. You're not getting any of my money. I'm going to shoot the lot of you if you come anywhere near it. That woman, who was all for like, the powers that be need to be brought down, and now she's squabbling about screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows you how even stuff like that, radical groups are not really, at the end, there's somebody who's not really interested in what they're supposed to be fighting for. They've got another agenda, and it's not really normally a good one.
It's money, basically.
Yeah.
What it all boils down,
it's
all the
power,
time.
It's fame, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, that's why they send them the films in the first place, so people can see them do this. And then the TV channel's like, hey, hold on a minute. We can do something else with this. We can make a series out of this, can't we?
Yeah. Well, they're not shocked about what they're seeing at all. They're just rubbing their hands as to, look at all this content we have right now.
It's a very cynical movie. The whole thing is just.
Is it cynicism or is it realism? Because that's the thing. A lot of people call things cynical because they think it has a bleak outlook. But if it's telling you the truth, it's a realist view.
But the truth is very cynical. It's the truth of the situations that they're showing you in this film. Everything around it is nothing's done for the good of anybody apart from somebody's pocket. And that's it. That's the bleakness of the whole thing.
Or in the case of William Holden and Faye Dunaway, shagging their way to the top, or just shagging their way to making themselves feel young again.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall's always worried about getting fired as well.
A flicker of humanity.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing where that relationship's concerned as well, where it turns the usual sort of 70s version of that on its head. And Faye Dunaway's like, I've got the constitution of a man. I come very quickly and then I go to sleep and I expect you to be leaving. And it's William Holden that is the one that's worried about the love in that situation. Whereas you see a stereotypical film from that time, it's normally the female character that is in William Holden's position.
You notice she only responded to him as well when he turned it into a program or a set list of a program.
Yeah, they started talking about that. How's it going to end, this program? Are we on the final? Is this the final quarter of the show? I'm not sure. I'm sure I like where this script is going.
Yeah,
are you listening to yourselves?
Yeah.
Well, he was talking to her in the way that she it gets her juices flowing. She can respond to that. If you speak to her about love and sex and marriage and kids and life and a driveway and the leaky roof, she's not going to respond to that. But you talk to her about
the third act reveal.
Something that is television based, how a TV show would work or how news would work, then she responds, she listens because she's interested in that.
Well, she's using it as tools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, it's something really vampiric about the nature of media that you lock into it to a point where everything you're thinking about is what's going to happen next to help you out.
That was also used on Peter Finch as well when the big boss got him into the room with the big long table.
Yeah.
And you thought he was going to sit down and talk to him, and then he turned all the lights off and went really theatrical with him. And it's like, oh, hang on, he's getting through to him here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you notice, though, he repeated exactly what he'd said he'd had in a dream? The conversation goes almost exactly word for word. Mm-hmm. And then the figure said this to me, and it's like Ned Beatty is coming out with exactly that line.
Yeah.
And can I just say, by the way, I thought Ned Beatty was fantastic in this. I've only ever seen him in, like, where he's playing characters who are, a little bit dim-witted. Yeah. And in this, it was a total switch around. And it's just, I've never seen Ned Beatty like that. It's just fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good to see him stretch his, to show that he does actually have more range than Hollywood gave him credit for.
Yeah, he wasn't just Otis in Superman or the guy getting the piggy treatment in Deliverance.
Yeah, exactly. He was a very sort of dominating, powerful individual who was so powerful that, doesn't matter if it's going to ruin his TV station, he'll just do what he likes. No, I like this. Keep this on air. Oh, he said what? He's damaging the brand. Oh, you better take him off then. In that case, yeah, fuck the people. I'm just doing this for money.
Okay, right. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here because I get the feeling we could carry on going on about this, and I will end up saying something that will get me sued. So, and it is like 5 to midnight. So we'll wrap it up here. Yeah. Any last thoughts? Anyone want to bring up any last things? Anything to bring up?
No, I think I've covered everything I wanted to.
You sure?
Yeah, but thank you. I've been wanting to watch this for a long time, so thank you, Darren.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. I've been wanting to watch it as well for a long while.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Jim, have you got any last thoughts? Any final thoughts you want to bring up?
Last thought, I think what sums up the whole TV executives, just in a nutshell, moment is when Faye Dunaway is first pitching, doing this show based on this live link up, kind of getting video from this so-called Liberation Army. One of the women goes, "Oh, we're going to call this Mao Zedong Hour." And then, like an hour later in the film, when it's actually running, it is actually called Mao Zedong Hour. They just went with that.
Yeah, and that's kind of in and of itself. That kind of sums it up, doesn't it? It's a thing there to inflame anger by the name, and it's just like people tune in to see something that makes them angry and shocked, and it's like, what were you expecting? But that's it. There's your audience. Dow, anything else?
I think it is amazing how much of today's comedy is influenced by this film when it comes to dealing with things in the media, especially things like Alan Partridge, the latest season of that.
Which we had as a jingle at the start. Yeah.
We did, yes. And also things like the Jonathan Pye podcast. Have you heard of that? It's where they for anybody that doesn't know who's actually listened to Jonathan Pye before, the fictional reporter, it's a series where they Shanghai him into taking on this talk show, right? It's like phone-in and how he has to deal with that. And the one that stood out for me today was the guy that was complaining about how long it takes at customs to get through customs and he's like, well, surely that's Brexit. And he's like, no, it's not. I reckon it's because the passports are now blue. And it's just
Jesus.
What? Yeah, so it's got nothing to do with Brexit at all. No, Brexit's not to blame. It's because they changed the colour of the passports. You notice how before it used to be fine when they were this colour, and now they've changed it to blue, and now everything's slowed down, and it's really horrible. And
But you wanted that colour. Yes, we did, but we didn't realise this.
Well, yeah. If you want any examples of that in real life, there is a fantastic Reddit called "Leopards Ate My Face."
Leopards ate my face.
Yes,
Okay.
leopards ate my face because basically it's I decided to do this thing. Who knew that it would come back to bite me on the arse? Essentially,
Right.
So. For example, there's a guy who's like the hardcore Trumper at the moment, and his story keeps turning up in there. Leopards Ate My Face. Basically, he's got a Latino wife who is now been detained in Guantanamo,
Yes.
and he didn't. He thought, well, they wouldn't come for me, and that's a perfect example of leopards eating my face. Like that guy on Question Time when Brexit went through, and he realised how much stuff he actually had to fill out to do his was it grocery exports, and he's like, I didn't think that would be this. I voted. That didn't tell me this would happen. It's
Well,
like,
how about those expats living in Spain who voted for Brexit?
yeah, exactly.
Right? And it was like they were suddenly shocked and stunned that the Spanish government didn't want them there anymore and told them to fuck off back to England. And it's but this is not what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, all the people in Cornwall with the farming and hotel subsidies from the EU, and suddenly being very upset.
The entire town was subsidised by the EU
and voted it out.
Yeah, and they voted out because the people who printed that thing on the side of the bus went, yeah, sure, no problem. You can have the money that we save from not sending all that money over to Brussels.
What, you mean that 350 million that we're going to be spending on the NHS
weekly?
Yeah,
weekly. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to turn up as a check at some point. I'm just waiting for that.
I'll keep watching, seeing the postman, every day. I'm not seeing any. He still ain't got it. I'm sure he's.
No.
You know, he's a bit overworked. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll have it one day. For
Carrying all those $350 million checks. Anyway.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Anyway, thank you for listening to the Black Dog Politics Hour.
Hey, if they listen to it,
Hey, yeah, that's it. It's all
we'll
about
mold
the
into
ratings.
it.
It's all about the ratings, my friend. All about the ratings. Yeah. Okay. So we have our caption for the week, which is arseless chaps. And actually, did I get a message? I thought I got a message from someone who got one of the end captions wrong. I apologize. Someone wrote in, and I did have that message. I will read it out next week. I will find it and read it out next week because I've lost it. It's like an absolute divwit. So anyway, hold on. Phrase of the week, is that it? Oh, from Sarah Langlass. Yeah, Sarah Langlass, who said was it the phrase of the week? Not the phrase of the week. My only excuse is I'm miserably sick with the flu, but I heard instead of we'll always have Paris, it was lawyers have parrots. And boy, did I spend some germ-addled brain cells trying to figure out the importance of what that could possibly mean. Cheers from a soggy California. Sarah.
Do you know what? Yeah, do it. Just why not? Why not?
Lawyers have parrots.
Lawyers have parrots. It's close enough.
Two parrots were standing on a perch, and one of them said, "Can you smell fish?"
Oh.
Think about it. Think about it. Perch. Anyway.
Well, you see, what he means when he says that is a perch is like a fish, right? Okay, and it's also like a stand that birds go on, right? So when he says like, "Can you smell fish?" It's like a wordplay thing, right? Okay,
yeah.
Where just you get in it. So like, look, it's like there's two parrots, right? Okay,
Dow,
and they stand there.
Dow.
What?
Silence, whelp.
I said, "Wow, sir."
He said, "Yeah." I might have to get the Fozzie Bear whacker.
Yeah, please.
Anyway, right. So we're now at the end. We've dribbled all the way to the end. And thank you, Sarah, for sending in that email. Sorry we didn't get around to it
from
sooner.
California.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. We really have gone up in the world. It was like North Korea at one point, wasn't it? Now it's California. Wow.
Of which there's no correlation between the two. I would just like to add that now.
Exactly. Hello, California.
Yes, hello, California. Hope you and the raisins are all doing very well. Right, so it's now time to pick our next week's film. And it's your turn, Elton.
It is my turn, yes. And once again, I've been going through my list of films that I want to watch, and none of them are on streaming. So I've gambled on something.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
So please forgive me if it doesn't. But we are going to Channel 4 to watch a movie.
Channel 4, yeah.
And it is called Possessor.
Oh,
Possessor.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know anything about this at all.
Great.
But I'm like, I keep seeing it around, and it's from 2020. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what I'm getting into.
No. Okay. Cool. Jim, have you seen Possessor?
No, I've not.
Oh,
This is the Brandon Cronenberg film.
that's the one.
I've been meaning to get round to it.
Okay. I'm going to ask the question. Darren, have you seen Possessor?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
At
I
all.
have seen Possessor. I've seen Possessor a couple of times. It's quite the wild ride.
Okay, cool.
It's quite the wild ride. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to see the uncut version on Channel 4. But
if it's somewhere else, let us know. But
yes,
I found it on Channel 4.
Yeah, it is on Channel 4.
Just looking right now.
And technically, we can say that we watched it on Channel 4, but,
yes.
If there's other means for getting like an uncut version, then maybe we use them.
Well, there was 2 versions. One was released in the cinema, and then COVID hit, and then a version was released on the sort of streaming services when you had to pay, because it was right at the very start of all of that sort of like, here, quick, pay a cinema cost ticket to watch it.
Right, okay.
Right out, right out of the gate with Wonder Woman sequel and all that kind of stuff. Possessor came out right then, right on top of COVID. So yes, okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Okay, cool.
I think the phrase "mind" and "fuck" is going to come right down the pipe at you.
Beautiful. You're
going to enjoy it, or maybe not. I just yes. I'm not going to say a word. Right. Okay. So there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week we will be watching Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor, starring Andrea Riseborough. And if you see that film or you want to send any feedback in, or if, like Sarah, you had a germ-addled brain and heard arseless chaps and you thought it meant something else, by all means, send in emails to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or if you like, you can hit me up on Blue Sky, which is cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. Just send me a DM through there on the chat, or you can go on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Right. Now over to Pimp's Corner before we leave. Jim, what's happening over in the wonderful world of Hypnagoria?
Well, this week I released a reading of a classic vampire story called The Tomb of Sarah, and also a St. Patrick's Day special covering the absolute copper-bottom classic, which is Leprechaun 4 in space!
Yeah. Well, where would you be if it didn't go to in space?
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. Brilliant. And that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Fantastic. And what about you, Elton? What's happening over at rogue2media.com?
I'm talking about cars going round in circles because the Formula One season has now started, and we're stuck with that until December. I honestly do like the sport, but, God.
I'm going to be honest, it doesn't sound like you do.
No. Yeah. And I really do like doing the podcast, but sometimes it's a ball ache.
That podcast or this one?
Yeah. A little from column A.
well, don't worry. After your medical, we know your ball ache is completely unrelated to the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and dropping some episodes on Band of Brothers podcast feed as well. So that's all over at rogue2media.com.
Fantastic, brilliant. Okie dokie. Well, as I said, you can find me on Blue Sky, cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. I do post most of my artwork when I draw stuff, put it up there. Otherwise, here's where you find me. You found me. Congratulations. Nothing to promote. Well done. Dow, anything else you want to drop? Anything you want to tell us?
No, not at the moment.
Brilliant. In which case, 9 minutes past midnight, I'm going to let these guys go to bed, and I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton. Take care. And to everyone out there, a very good night. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.